Good afternoon and welcome to the Segue reading series. My name is James Sherry, and today we have Christopher Knowles and Bruce Andrews reading for us in the final episode of the series that Lonely and I have curated for Roof Books. And we're going to start with Bruce Andrews, who's been one of the most important contributors to advancing poetry into new realms of the past 50 years. Roof published some of his early minimalist work in Wobbling and R&B with Roof Books. His contribution to the theory of writing as co-editor of Language magazine changed the poetry world in important ways, reorienting the focus of American poetry from speech to the page. Language writing was known for its theory that merged early 20th century avant-garde strategies and improvised jazz with political idealism. In fact, as the new writing was starting to be published, Andrews, with Ron Silliman and Charles Bernstein, formulated the ways in which the new poetry would be viewed. Reading the University of New Mexico Press book, The Language Letters, it becomes clear that Andrews was the principal architect framing the new structure of writing about writing. Yet for Andrews, Coolidge's fragmentation as an, quote, extension of what Ashbery was doing in Tennis Court Oath with fragmentation was as early as 1972 a vital factor in developing the new poetry, where Andrews' idea of poetry, quote, divides into three parts: linguistic structure, evocative structures, and expressional structures. These are the goals of the poet. In the formats of single words and group words that constituted his early work, Andrews continued to pay attention to what was going on in poetry outside of his own concerns. And as language poetry fed into the mainstream of literary theory, Andrews expanded his minimalism to extended complex prose works, most notably for me, I Don't Have Any Paper, So Shut Up, or Social Romanticism, an assault on American barbarity. Quote, boys one, smirking boys one, shot. His focus moved toward an intensely psychological framing of current events, cynicism as a flamboyant exorcism of the empire's brutality. The 1970s generation of poets was fascinated with freedom and political theory, but now a new generation is looking to modify freedom with respect. Andrews keeps up with his new work in a complex diction. Some of his new writing returns to its minimalist roots, but continues to extend current events. Here is Andrews' social thought personalized. Quote, choosing social acceptance over a mission to get justice. Trust is crumbling. Keep it cordial. Do not worry, we will never forget. This, of course, was written before the Minneapolis murders. And he evokes a related idea confronting popular thought with his signature fragmented, graphically focused poem, Cis Words. Quote, the verbs are flesh, obsession to input, membrane-ing, insurgencies of nerve impingement, juiciness out of M, paren, meaning paren, outside M, knocks up, we near feral overstimulated. Surprise? We are not surprised, because Andrews is full of surprises. Today, live on the Segue stage, Bruce Andrews.
Thank you, James. That was embarrassing. And as I mentioned to people before this, James is celebrating 50 years of the Segue Foundation, and I'm celebrating 50 years living here in New York City, in the same apartment. All right. Okay. So I'm going to read mostly recent, or a couple of recently anthologized pieces. This first is one of from a series of prose works, sort of phrase prose, I'm calling it. This first of which is the one I've typed half of. It's called Not Yet, which will be followed by If Then, which will be followed by Yet, which will be followed by nobody cares and I don't care either. And all that is preliminarily to the thing I'm really working on right now, which is a new version of Dante's Hell based on current events and the people that I would like to see punished. But that's going to take a few years. Okay, so there's a couple pieces from Not Yet. Really? There are no blank pieces of paper. The measurement of weak implication was nonsensical gibberish, sending garbled data, a near pixel-level redoing of the prickly ambient. This is nonsense. Give me texture / give me subtext. Force to syllabicate. You discover paint bleed under your referential implications. The mic is now closer. Okay. On a bed of glitches, like many people who love to throw these words out in a lazy manner, T-phone, hypnagogic, images, reality, auditor, all fonts collapsing, resists linguistic mastery, my island, not talking generally, talking specifically, too much pointless parsing, insert indicator. Which version? More like how-to manuals, verbal art, verbal sign, verbal time, beam me up transporter, name aphasia, euthanize the name, dialoging it from within, parentes, a lingua franca, introa doing, vati, get back to the standalone version of you. You were promised to teach me to read. Shields us from the first blast of its presumptions. Fear of erasure. Let's not mince words. What is in a name? A small three-dimensional sign falling apart. Oh, uppercase, shortwave, drop the needle test, shot through with artifice. Well, there it is, the stupidest thing I'll read today. It's a volume knob with all its carefully observed trappings. Joker words, crackpot vocabulary, meme sign, fifth dimension chess. You really need somebody to help you organize all these X's and stay close to the amici from the film Ball of Fire, 1941. Sidecar equals question mark? Yeah, genius. La ultima palabra. Copy that. Algo speak. Will somebody call for a big history of footnotes? We call you / all caps / and raise you. Italics and specifics, iffy generalizers, less or nothing, any sign of them? The lion sleeps tonight, whim away. In the commotion, anxiety-induced bon mots, are cheat sheets unusual? To court distraction? Aren't into the whole subtitle thing. This regular ass lotto crypto the day. A microculture, intertitle, news dunce, make all the memes you want, the paraquats of opening night, oxymoron brand ripoffs and copycats. What's hot in the world of hot? Bots. Look how white he is. Glitter gulch, more hula hoops. Chinoiserie, newspapers, garbage. Bitcoin or Ethereum? Pigeon isn't translated, bracket. Spoiler, those prose pieces that I'm working on right now came after this multi-hundred page project, which I just finished a year or two ago, about fiction, about Russia, about war, about the novels and commentary on the novels of Vladimir Sorokin, which is called, manuscript is called Zombies plus Clones plus Ready-Mades / writing, reading Vladimir Sorokin. And it has one large piece in the middle of phrase prose type things, and also a lot of miscellaneous apparatus, one of which is the text from a performance, from a neo-benchy performance that I did with Sally Silvers a year or two ago. We had projected behind us the last few minutes of the film It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. And Sally actually came out with a giant ladder that she was propelling from crawling on the floor underneath. Anyway, this is just the solo text version of this, called A Lifetime of Enthusiasms. The crux, gizmo, invites slow looking. the thingamajigam, head snapping in some bubble, the nonsensical big nothing theory. Don't think of a pink elephant mugged by reality and living in cloud cuckoo land. I love captions. Bracket spoiler, gaze shifting, intellectual treasure hunt, story slam, maybe end, night spins, voices enclosed in implicit or explicit quotation marks. On the vaporetti of cinematic time loops and miniature. I never understand it, that's why I remembered it. Dreamer's big mistake goes viral from this presumptive vantage point. Optimists to the end, lopsided spin-off and soft landing scenario, incitement/excitement. It does not look good. Broken, that's our middle name in verse. Special recap, this is effing crazy. The unknown, exploring strange phenomena, all for nothing. I smell desperation. Emphasis on if, stoking, whiplashy, plot device, enter the mess. Zup, some normal creatures of the book, of everything for everybody. Kooky quantum leap, and start asking difficult questions, surreptitiously illegal. Staccatoed the X, them. Exhibit a-hole. Name drop, world gone mad. Is it safe? / I apologize. Meta theory is hiring, writing into the future. We stand for anything, bracket, consequences. Ha 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 ha. A state of peripheral control may seem far-fetched. Follow orders. Declare a war on gravity. Zero fail. Go, gadget. Soft thud. Lemmings, the video game. Thigh spacer or butt spacer. Easy honey as the world turns. Enough / maybe / enough. Straight misdirection. Raging slab as if it's a phantom limb. Teeny error. Boundless minds and moving bodies. We are one another's problem. Join the wish list. Fixation. Maybe I forgot to push go. There, woulda, shoulda, creature tempo, bent in bed. Just like that, bingo. Doesn't jiggle. Peek, touch, rub, in the in-between. Force them to take deep breaths. Use pillowcases to catch the air. Parachuted in, a complete pivotal non-story, and broad jumps to get a vasectomy. Heart failure brand. Kicky, slap. Always talking about the future. Nobody gets buttered to decapitate or insolventolate. Hopped in place, I prefer finger flip. Non-urgent clinging to movement creates lubrication. Wobbly, quick saw moves on one leg. Feroce. Turn back time, all hell is gonna break loose. Iffy, knee jerk. Attach jumper cables to your nipples. I'm so predictable. The bump assembly, kiss it. Just the word blowhole is a poem by itself. Oops, urgency, what? Pleasure equals pleasure. Fox chews off its own trapped foot. If this happens, / if that happens, a stress test, whirlpool, hello, goodbye, and everything in between. Crash the party instead of drooping down into old age as self-assassination. Oops, stop now. This is ethane crazy, effing the miniature zip it men. It's finger licking gone. Noise, inaudible. Noise, ASAP. Ramps up in this hybridic surge to uncancel. Cherry bomb, real bad. Romper room, ooze it or lose it. Looks so busted. We should not be doing this? Like the cats bringing in the dead mouse. Sure enough, let's do something. Id control, let it rip. It's always somebody else's fault that went for the throat. It don't worry me. Let's all hang tough as we mechanize our lives. You are my boarding pass. No audible dialogue. Its own discombobulated non-self. and transformed into an intimate gathering space, just swinging when it counts. Repeat and interrock. Nowhere I feel safe. Strap in. Hopes that help. Break the noose. Your big catchphrase. A freaking cutout. Unanimity. Hold the line, hold the line. And you are my collateral. Could've doesn't count. Casing the Pollyanna pinhead. So much fun. Santa Clausification. Why can't it be like it is on television? Who are the pawns, / who are the knights and rooks, / who are the bishops and queens? You got the blacklist, package delivery, dumb Quixote. Sure thing. Madness as footnote to our lives. Kicked asphalt and the whole world's gone mad? Razzle dazzle. You always need backup. You cannot throw yourself a surprise party. Abandoned ship. Money is all pretend. 360-degree photography. Wanted dead or alive. Going to extremicize. Smackdown. Self-select. That's rubber room stuff. Ad hoc metal. Mopping up. Box cutter collective. Surrender posture. Having trouble stacking bodies. Play, you're gonna lay. Smash and grab. Only a matter of time. / justice is coming. Wackadoodle. Lit diffuse. Shake your moneymaker. Or punch me with a Judy bat. Takes us back. / way back. Last whiz bang hurrah. For Tinkerbell money. Dancing with a cutout. Let it happen, let it happen. Warned of a slippery slope. Fundraiser. It was carnage, it was chaos. The so far scorecard. Death on the installment plan. Let me show you. The future has no index bracket on their own. Houdini of, the closer they get to bodily harm, the more intriguing the music soundtrack gets. I don't have to worry about you, but I like to worry about you. Bracket, sup, Rudy Tooty, the world is not feeling like home. Cash, now, stand back, stand by. Baby, you busted. Just me? SYLF, statues you'd like to fuck. Even the GPS tracker on your butt is enjoying itself. Exy in the slammer, Masteria, against / everybody. Cine queen, best night ever party, no control. And this is the last section of social body, which is the big prose clump in the middle of zombies plus clones plus ready-made / writing, reading, Vladimir Sorokin. This is section CC. Grateful men, flashy wings of forgiveness, a morality plays, sincere condolences will walk barefoot over broken glass for you. Excusez-moi. Good and normal, footnote, bracket, Jane Crow, closed bracket. Clowning, kindness, virtue, confession to pray for our enemies. Please fix the game, now. We need a villain. Such a do-gooder line. But when and why? We both know so sorry. Not for what it tells who about who self, but for what it says about any so-called culture. Gimme disco. Like a sideshow act called to investigate a mass murder. Of your glimpse of the hoi polloi / an experienced third. Do-good punch bowl ethics or situational norms would simplify your life dramatically. Kind of sharing how to survive a plague with norm-core institutions, even if petty gossips love your enemies. Disagreement didn't used to equal hate. This is existential. How? Shockingly generous to the point of extravagance. Not fair versus tact versus stability and civility, love and shame and love, plus a little side eye of moral vertigo, granting first up status to a more feminized realm of caring, creating a norm of acceptability to how to be lickable, sick, in a crisis making amends for all wrongs done. Move beyond grief, pushing who self to do justice to the quantity of mercy's finger pointing and blame. Every country has its yokels and yahoos, morally obligated to disidentify as dispossessed. Always being humiliated, footnote. Say thank you. The insincerer apology wins. An interrogative act of defiance to lay down your arms, materialize that metaphor, excuse me, and refuse to carry out criminal orders. Why? The effect is operetta-like. Somebody snarked, / hashtag walk away, / 'cause then, sorry for you. Moral needle swings wildly. They are, at heart, a nation of serfs, a rabble. Smell seems social. So, example, perfume. The supposedly illiberal clingers, dregs, deplorables, chumps, and irredeemables. But they are still penalized, punished, and demeaned and disco-graced Mexicans who show me kindness. They were the condescending nothing people. Sales volatility with plural counteroffensives. We equal from rural heartland. They equals city scum. But he even clearly looked down on most Americans. If you're sick of the patriarchy, why not become part of it? Communal udder, shrunkflation, skankflation, ownership is everything. If that doesn't stink, I have some week-old fish you might consider buying. Or use your kids as collateral for debts. Empowering and regressive peace like a river made palatable with species extinction and toxic degradation. He had to have help, had to have. Choosing social acceptance over a mission to get justice. Trust is crumbling. Keep it cordial. Do not worry. We will never forget. This is a piece called Flesh that came out in Edmund Torres's anthology Body. Flesh, monad, frenzy, charade. Fire retardant, poppy artifice. Lossing, self-typo. Echolalia, placenta, tiara. Havoc, lipstick, guano opposites. It's mostly his blood. Smear up the human beings to ransack pleasure. Impy got prescient. Crying over idealizes cacophony. A reflexive goofball, coyably pre-gland. Crap tech, pubertizzy's indexical hump. Spine with chews murdering young sentences. The squirrelizer, the amniotically erective in itself. Adulthood improper, fist ballistics, liquid suede, boot black mummified in duct tape, catheter overbite out to plunge, ought to plunge, rehab tessitura, latency fall guy. To live is counterphobic to the mishandling of the autopsy. Syringe sulk deliberately sucking, thrall mock toreador. Gist insists I ate the staple. Break it down. Tactics hem, disgagging. Courage makes taste. No, I'm just corpse sitting. Switch on the carnivore poignancy. Thereminized confab. No, back up. Slime as ever, the sultry wah-wah. Darling, circumstantial co-pet. Slay that. Neo-retro precision pet-pulling gutterball. Don't inner me. Cough up some mantras. Bobcut, volatilizing refugee from the human. Lilter in a, quote, backwards dog. Avalanche of hot topping to have one extra chromosome. Orifice in unity, uniform, chastity, butter. Who needs the lips? Relentlessly. How's about sharpen the parents' self-christening at the orgy? Marionette bullets produce and seduce. I think alive is charming. Smooth, oomph, deisposing, ameliorate or die. Dopier squeeze coyly what we will have been. Mammalian agents, plungers, bob, fuck out of wine. Micro-goosing outsider, dirt, foti detox. The power of pout. Pets eat prose. Charity, propellant, and explosive dispersal. Scissors, live feed. Having an enjam session, an etc. Tumblers, brazen habitus, pronoun comeback, plucking the leotard flack, rev, slick up, buzz, same passionaria. Why shouldn't the crippled act sexually aggressive? Stunts per buzzy lunger, abyss or muck. Poppy kidding the overbasted tick bite prevention, brainchild of possessed benzenable brains. resistant tricolor spill and spell, estranged cheesecake, harlequin lisp, your child as a chip, treadmill you self-peripheralize, expressivist to a fault. Are we rattle-free? Niche me, baby. Work that thing. Slap-happy rhetoric jaw, verticalizing puppy circumstance. Unattended Primarchs, snap-on subject-object, undispuppied antipsychotic perestroika juicing my lemon. Everybody ticks, some a bit louder than others. An effigy retort, perfectly pleased, ready-made juxtaposers. Midnight scandal fiend, adhesive pin drop. Nonchalance, caught up, hug overdose. Squeegee down on suicide faucet. Booties, make cowards of us all. Busy to beeline, tweezering, instantiatedly body snatchers. Glance didn't enjoy the monumentalized, astonished id. Feel quark, ham up cancer snacks. Nice big swarm, stiffer, slingier, rhyming, fictional Mars gives us an indelible cue. Rambunctious, colloquially, senor anal wig. Zip up, imposters, stop at anything. Dollhouse or funhouse. Velcro, purgatorial, parthenogenesis. Different cubbies of, start it, cool impermanence. Foster care midgets spanking new goo and tender braggadocio. Cuties, anxious sockets had bad queen-size platelet hang on the popping. Calm down or die. There's superego and then there's superego. Affect flattered cannibal gummy night. Toss Miss Guy. Pressure pointy dolly booze. Flesh shift one moistable secular sweetheart. Polyp and me clench up when you write out long words. Libido watermark personalized feed forward. You used to be entity centering. Trippy face off. Adoration all squishy. When was foam prom? Heifer, lure, antic plunge. Now I'm presumptuously threatened. Romance verbatim, half-cocked, dive in, life, stab, epic funsters. Perpetually shrimped bonfire, extra atropic spooner. I'm a big boy, bracket, I'm a big box. Overbleat, let you perforate your daydreams. Next. It's a piece from a few years ago, it's anthologized in Vincent Katz's The Dia anthology. This is a piece from Retiring, which is part of my white dialect poetry project. And this is, which is titled Success Without Goals. This is from Retiring. I think this is from the Appalachian part. And expression hit our first child or toddler purdy or hit his self arter warrant thar round no rated and plaster and arter hern hit and tuck and once get a alphabet master and certain pit aim and prediction and hit mouth there are suckers verdict hit and again for most aim thar understand and touch just pumpkins and immediately and dear thar and his self ain't on trying during thar and har cotcha hine and year arter hit and feared and sought again stand and round gwine round and round and round and ain't and didn't hain't and he's misfortunately bootin' and fussed incontinently must first hit and arter master hit and succus dog and succus prediction must world hit afterwards and are foremost and druv and rub fust and skiers extent arter and fact and a twix omen ruler roost and saft rail dust plus and fact must world and forget forgotten and squar and hits across the writing and our hand hit just and am lies and fix and feller picture and potograph picture hit found ain't nothing ain't and fact afore hit them selling door got just newspapers Satur, get daguerreotype kits, just ain't daguerreotype, request thar and order arter ex and hoss and hossy as per dominance fat dog have purty child or hit outside politician or giant have mixin and iron arter and fat hit retiring competency he's an hit spec hit nothing standing fuss fights war his and certainly and myself found expect war gently and legs and hit them enduring intermittent mer long a purpose get sot and sot sarve artifice bounds war again found next and promiscuously followed child or rid and hound followed and hitting must toopin time and war out in the water fuss tucking. This next is this is actually a blurb James read from it, a couple of lines from it. It's called Cis Words. This was a blurb for Mark Nasdor's recent poetry book. Cis Words. Mixology, text orifice for incoming. Incoming, targeted signage straps in, surface as motive imprint. The verbs are flesh. Obsession to input, membraning, insurgencies of nerve impingement, juiciness out of, quote, M, meaning outside, quote, M, knocks up. We near feral, overstimulated. Surprise? It unhappens, dehappens, deadpan, syntactical bum rush processing the ruptures. Amping face-off face work / compensatory parataxis. What do we attach the jumper cables to? Hectic, relaxing, slap about with what captures what. Plunging, tonguing, subroutine rule. Cacophony mandates nearly always beside. Not splaining, not disenabling. Sooner gets later. Are we desanctifying? The subjects are mobs in spurts, flesh mobbed and crowdsourced. Firewall or paywall. War inside poetry's occupied territory. Invasive implants. Contra-amusements. This is the last section of another fairly recent piece called Surprisal. Fetid, another punch-up, punching down, perfect storm of do-over jumps into crypto as counter-policy with interraced puppet regime to the last extrajudicial ditch. First, threaten them. Promise. Then, revanchists, the ones who don't say they love you, decriminalize supersedure, more all-inclusive double talk, duplicity, chutzpah, so we can deconflict street assurance riot, as in riot committee, this swagless gangsterization being wronged in gender reveal explosion, delvying everyone, so get jiggy with it to pay palace coup ransom as declaration of intending citizen bituation. Sociopathic selfishness fires the boss since husbands die first to weaponize the crisis. Coquettish hit kid core bracket tagonist. When I think about the future, missing letters seem intentional here. Diversity, action, not affirmative. We will shoot you like rabid dogs with your besties to rivalize with bad assery coup-esque urgent howlers a goop. To be steamrollered into squelch culture zings the public-facing libs, unsiloing apologetics, remember your tradecraft, guns, force, X. Walk-offs, Marcuse equals hippo. The Nazi gazpacho debonair police. Russian warships go F asterisk, 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 yourself. Cayuga Tony telect val in tuis, justificatory lies of commune Nazis, goose the kraken. Republican-held Senate seats, states that comprise in total what percentage of the U.S. population, and what percentage of the voting figure? Figure 35 or 40% at most. Asymptomatic does not equal anti-Semitic. Geoeconomics stops the bull-tish, nepotism, snake oil salesperson hate in the homeland. He is there to kill all of itself. Ukraine refugee, quote, cherish a clear sky every day of your life. And now I'm going to end with some single-page poems. These were everything I read tonight that was in brackets is basically a single-page poem inserted into other pieces. These are ones from a manuscript called Far-Fetch. Sticky, pinch, antibody, extra butter, lose everything. Airborne, weak or no signal. Title of work, wordplay. 1, every theory matters. Suspicious package. Never stop asking. Oh, that. No real person involved. Ding. We are being martyred against our will. Don't. Lethal. Deadline blown. Rise above. Want more. Write off. Naughty or nice. Portion control. Verbs are bacon. Scatter. Peapod. Pod bad. Quote, we don't agonize, we organize. Pelosi, April 2020. He's not sensitive, / he's not supportive. Fuck him, fuck him, fuck him, fuck him, fuck him, fuck him. And that was the last piece, but let me end with my most recent 2-word poem. Melt ice.
Thank you so much, Bruce. That was Bruce fucking Andrews reading. That was amazing. So if you don't know me, my name is Lonely Christopher, and I do go on. So we're not going to take a break, but if you need to use the restroom, now would be a good time. It's right out here, past the stairway to the left, and I guarantee that I'll still be talking when you get back. But yeah, Christopher, go ahead. And before I start the intro, I did want to say that this has been a great season. I've been working with my co-curator, James Sherry, who's the founder of Segue Foundation. Segue and Roof Books are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. So we're going to have a lot of stuff, a lot of special stuff for you. Roof Books will be back next December to host our 50th anniversary celebration. The Segue reading series continues every Saturday through May. Artist Space is hosting the next event, or the next season, and on the 7th of February, they are hosting Eric Bogosian and Bunny Rogers. So we hope that you'll come back for a great season hosted by Stella Silman and Jay Sanders for Artist Space. But for now, I'm going to get to my intro and our second reader of the night, Christopher Knowles. The year 1967 was the best for pop music on the top 40. Christopher Knowles listened to the charts on WABC. Thursday, December 17th, 1970 was Christopher Knowles' sister Sarah's 22nd birthday, and he pounded on her cake. He wrote to her, "Happy birthday, Sarah. I'm very sorry that I pounded on your cake." He watched his little sister Emily watch the TV because she likes it. He said, "So this is about the things on the table. This one could be counting up. This could be about the things on the table. This about the gun, 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 gun this has." When I was in art school, I became simultaneously obsessed with the operas Four Saints and Three Acts and Einstein on the Beach, a similar situation as described by writer Hilton Knowles. I went to the Pratt Institute, which is where Robert Wilson first heard about Christopher Knowles. One of my core memories is of the hours upon hours I spent shelving books in the 800s as a clerk in the campus library listening to Mr. Bojangles on repeat. I don't mean the radio song, I mean the other song. Hilton Knowles says that Christopher Knowles understands words as the thing itself. The ostinato patterns of Philip Glass's music perfectly matched the soothing repetition of Knowles' libretto. If you see any of those baggy pants, it was huge, chuck the hills. If you know it was a violin to be, answer the telephone. And if anyone asks you, please, it was trees. It is like that. So this could be reflections for Christopher Knowles, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison. If you see any of those baggy pants, it was huge, Mr. Bojangles. If you see any of those baggy pants, it was huge, Chuck the Hills. If you know it was a violin to be, answer the telephone. And if anyone asks you, please, it was trees. It is like that, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. Knowles' childhood work with tape recorders was introduced to the experimental theater maker Robert Wilson, and Knowles first shared the stage with him at the Brooklyn Academy of Music on Friday, December 12, 1973, for the Life and Times. Thank you. And please correct me for any dates, because I'm told that Christopher has a good memory for dates. December 14th, 1973, for the Life and Times of Joseph Stalin, which on a whim incorporated Knowles' performance piece, Emily Likes the TV. Anthony Elms writes that Wilson was incredibly influenced by Knowles' use of language, quote, the materials and patterns of movies, pop music, familial observations, and broadcast presented as patterns of ingenious humor and profound heart, unquote. Knowles continued to collaborate with Wilson on shows, including A Letter for Queen Victoria, Wilson's attempt to go Broadway, which featured live performance, text, and audio work from Knowles, including his piece, The Sundance Kid is Beautiful, which uses the titular phrase as the primary unit in a series of repetitions and slight variations. The Sundance Kid is beautiful because the Sundance Kid was beautiful, and the movie is about the Sundance Kid because the Sundance Kid wears light brown, kind of yellow. Bob and Christopher continued to work together on performances such as A Mad Man, A Mad Giant, A Mad Dog, A Mad Urge, Dollar Value of Man, Dialogue Network, and Parzival. On Tuesday, June 24, 1980, Robert Wilson asked Andy Warhol if Andy Warhol thought Robert Wilson was exploiting Christopher Knowles, or at least that is what Andy Warhol thought Robert Wilson was asking him, so Andy Warhol wrote about it in his diary, but didn't provide an answer. But the answer was no. Robert Wilson passed away last year on July 31, 2025. 50 years ago, Wilson created the opera Einstein on the Beach with composer Philip Glass, whose birthday is today. Yes, let's give a hand of applause for Philip Glass. Great. Using text by Lucinda Childs, Samuel M. Johnson, and Christopher Knowles. I think Einstein on the Beach is the greatest artistic achievement ever realized. The synthesis of the lead creative team's energies resulted in a truly Wagnerian Gesamtkunstwerk. This is something that exploded the form of opera, thus opening it up further than it had ever been. The American premiere was held at the Metropolitan Opera, outside of their regular programming, of course. They had to rent the house on November 21, 1976? That's right. Okay. Knowles' text is certainly as significant to the history of American opera as the vital and paradigm-shifting libretti of Gertrude Stein, Four Saints and Three Acts and The Mother of Us All, and Alice Goodman, Nixon in China and the Death of Klinghoffer. Knowles might begin with Carole King, but instantly branch out into a carceral scene of sudden impacts. I feel the earth move. I feel the tumbling down, the tumbling down. There was a judge who like puts in a court, and the judge have like in what able jail what it could be a spanking, or a whack, or a smack, or a swat, or a hit. This could be where of judges and courts and jails. And who was it? This will be doing the facts of David Cassidy of were, in this case, of feelings that could make you happy, that could make you sad, that could make you mad, that could make you jealous. Knowles works across forms. He's a poet, painter, illustrator, sculptor, photographer, performer, Lego fanatic, and more. He uses typewriters, newspapers, tape recorders, and toys. He collects alarm clocks. His writing challenges the notions of art object versus text, sometimes approaching what we might classify as conceptual or language poetry, but more often coming across as concrete poetry that emphasizes the shape of communication and its modes of production. Knowles has performed widely on stage in collaboration with other artists and in solo shows. His art book Typings was published in 1979 and remains an object of cultist fixation among fans of the avant-garde. Anthony Elms again, quote, Christopher uses data to be an individual relative to and in connection with another via distinctions overlooked in standard conversations. Christopher's remembering, revisiting, reconfiguring, reordering, and recording are set to a gauge that is sensitive to fluctuations in connectivity, system format, curiosity, declaration, syntax, tactility, incident, scale, humor, and the hard geometry of simplified data, unquote. Elms organized a retrospective of Knowles' career in 2015, which was exhibited at the Institute of Contemporary Art at the University of Pennsylvania and the Contemporary Arts Museum, Houston. Bridget Donahue presented Knowles' most recent solo exhibit last year, the dioramic Rainbow Lego Show. A painting of his from 2017 is titled Rack, Wreck, Rick, Rock, Ruck, and consists of those R words listed on top of each other in handmade red letters on a reddish-orange background. This speaks to the artist's programmatic sensibilities. In his painting, he might choose for his subject Radio City Music Hall or something far less figurative, such as the record of his highest score playing the electronic game of Simon. Stefan Brecht once reflected on working with Knowles, quote, Chris's voice then had a perfectly empty and marvelously sustained enthusiasm. His repetitions lined out in arabesques in place, the heartfelt arrests of mind. His responses were never immediate, did not have the tone of responses, came from away. Sometimes, feeling good, asking one a question, he would humorously promote little mysteries of memory, but it was all times clear that his words were not giving away his thoughts, unquote. Lauren DeGuglio writes, quote, this movement of linguistic form toward and away from signified content becomes choreographic, adding that these kinds of interruptions, which occur at the level of both linguistic content and visual form, rehearse Deleuze's notion of the stutter, which continuously destabilizes language's semantic production, unquote. There is much more to be said of Christopher, but at this point, I think we'd rather hear from him directly. I am so honored and madly thrilled to introduce to this podium at Segue the one and only Christopher Knowles.
Thank you very much, and I'm proud to be amongst us. Glad to be here, and anyway, just trying to get things set up here, and I'm going to read this later during the encore. So anyway, I'm Christopher Knowles, and I'm going to read several poems here, and so it'll take me a minute to find it here. So my glasses. That's not one. Nope. That's not the other one. You're trying to find it. Here it is. Everything is beautiful. Okay, here it is. 1970, solid gold. Everything is beautiful. Thank you. I am the red secondary planned up as madness jet in the sky. It would be light, so it was a silver dress into a style to be so hot. It would be madness. It would be real fine checker. It is so mad. It could go mad. It could be so good to style the hair in team. So everything is beautiful. On the best to be alone, it was so nice to be that too. I am the red secondary planned up as madness jet in the sky. It would be light. So it was a silver dress into a style to be so hot. It will be madness. It will be real, fine, checker, it is so mad. It could go mad, it could be so good to style the hair in team. So everything is beautiful on the nest to be alone. It was so nice to be that too. So on to the group 2. A second jet has like very team into a mag jar to deal with me to it too. So everything is beautiful on the nest to be alone. It was so nice to be that too. I am the red secondary plant up as madness jet in the sky. It would be light. So it was a silver dress into a star to be so hot. It would be madness. It would be real. Fine checker ones. It is so mad. It would go mad. It would be good to style the hair in team. So everything is beautiful on the nest to be alone. It was so nice to be that too. So it was beautiful to be so old, to be so cold, to be so cold, and to be so cast. It was the pool in this thing. It would be very making into a section. So everything is beautiful on the nest to be alone. It was so nice to be that too. Credits were real surprised to be real surprised. And the next one, one of my faves here. Yeah, it's going to take me a minute to find Mandy. Excuse me, I'm trying to find Mandy here. It's coming right up. Found it, Mandy. Okay, Mandy. Okay. I remember all my life raining down as cold I am, shadows on the hills, faces through windows, crying in the night. It was just another. It was a fall. It was a fool. It could be all right now, perhaps. I can't be making myself of your bat. Oh, Mandy, you gave me and you gave that keeps shaking. I need it. I remember all my life, raining down as cold I am, shadows on the hills, faces through windows, crying in the night. It was just another. It was a fall. It was a fool. It could be all right now, perhaps. I can't be making myself of your bat. Oh, Mandy, you gave me and you gave that keeps shaking. I need it. Yesterday I was going to make it. Oh, Mandy, you gave me and you gave that keeps shaking. I need it. Oh, Mandy, you gave me, and you gave that keeps shaking. I need it is like that. Woo, 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 woo. Oh. And it's going to take me a minute so to find the reach out in the darkness. Here it is. Reach out in the darkness. That's Solid Gold, 1968. I think it's so groovy now that people getting together, get up and once go to. But once go around that people were together. So let's say about the men. And then one day we talk things on your mind. And now this man is a friend of mine. Reach out in the darkness. Reach out in the darkness. And you're so. I think it's so groovy now that people getting together. Get up, once go to, but once go around that people were together. So let's say about the men. And then one day we talk things on your mind. And now this man is a friend of mine. Reach out in the darkness. Reach out in the darkness. And you're so. I think it's so groovy now that people are getting together, get up and once go to, but once go around that people were together. So let's say about the men. So then one day we talk things on your mind. And now this man is a friend of mine. Reach out in the darkness. Reach out in the darkness. And you're so. Don't be afraid to go, to be love. Reach out in the darkness. Reach out in the darkness. And you're so. Reach out in the darkness. Reach out in the darkness. And you're so. Reach out in the darkness. Face out. And next one of my faves, These Are the Days, coming right up. Went too fast. Here it is, one of my faves. Okay. And it's called These Are the Days. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? And it could get those for it is. It could get some railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline shortest ones. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? And it could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline, shortest ones. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. Will it get some wind for the sailboat? And it could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be for Django's Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline shortest ones. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. Will it get some wind for the sailboat? And it could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline shortest one. Oh, these are the days, my friend, and these are the days, my friend. Friend, would it get some wind for the sailboat? It would get some those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline shortest one. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? It could get those for it is. And it could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline shortest one. Oh, these are the days, my friend, and these are the days, my friend. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? And it could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. It could get some gasoline shortest ones. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. It could get the railroad for these workers. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? And it could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie inside it. It is a balloon inside into. It could get some gasoline shortest ones. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? It could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. Iron into a very fresh and clean and foggy and soggy, and the gasoline shortest one. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. Would it get some wind for the sailboat? It could get those for it is. It could get the railroad for these workers. It could be a balloon. It could be Frankie. It could be very fresh and clean. And it could get some gasoline shortest one. Oh, these are the days, my friends, and these are the days, my friends. That's how it goes. Guess I fixed something. Very clever. Very clever of me. So, and the next one is it's something about Mr. Bojangles. So I have to find it where it is. And here it is, right in front of me. It's Mr. Bojangles, one of my favorites. Okay. Mr. Bojangles, if you see any of those baggy pants, it was huge. Truck the hills. If you know it is a violin to be. Answer the telephone. And somebody asked him, please. It was trees. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. It is like that. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. If you see any of those baggy pants, it was huge. Chuck the hills. If you know it is a violin to be. Answer the telephone. And somebody asked him, please. It was trees. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. It is like that. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. If you see any of those baggy pants, it was huge. Chuck the hills. If you know it is a violin to be. Answer the telephone. And somebody asked him, please. It was trees. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. It is like that. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles, I reach you. That's how it goes. Excuse me. And know by heart, and it's about the Sundance Kid. Take a minute break here. Put a water. Okay, ready? It's about the Sundance Kid, and here how it goes. Okay, the Sundance Kid is beautiful. The Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, very beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there's the movie about the Sundance Kid, and there's a story about the Sundance Kid. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful. Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, very beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid could do the dancing around a little bit. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid could dance around the room. So the Sundance Kid could run around the room. So the Sundance Kid could walk around the room. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful. So Sundance Kid is beautiful. So Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So there's houses of trees, playgrounds. Yep, houses of trees. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So throw the E out the window and add the ing. So there's race, racing, breathe, breathing, wrestle, wrestling. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there's houses of trees, playgrounds. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. Joyce Ashley has a big clock. It tells what time it is. Clock, clock, clock above. It does tell what time it is. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid is very, 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 very beautiful. So the Sundance Kid wears light brown, a kind of yellow, something like that. A brown, a kind of yellow. So I'm doing an encore here and have it right in front of me. This is the newest poem, and it's gone about me and my wife at home. So here it is. Christopher Knowles and Sylvia Netzer. We were at home during the blizzard. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So on. We cook at home. We made soup at home. We listened to the radio. Let it snow. So on. Christopher Knowles and Sylvia Netzer stayed at home during the blizzard. So on. We were at home during the blizzard. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, so on. We cook at home. We made soup at home. We listened to the radio. Let it snow, so on. Christopher Knowles and Sylvia Netzer stayed at home during the blizzard, so on. We were at home during the blizzard. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, so on. We cook at home. We made soup at home. We listened to the radio. Let it snow, so on. Christopher Knowles and Sylvia Netzer stayed at home during the blizzard. So on. That's it. One last quick announcement. So I'll be doing a poetry reading. That's 2 weeks from tomorrow at Gallery 128 Rivington Street. And it's from 2 to 4, February the 15th. Hope you could come. Thank you very much. I don't want to hurt you.
Wow, oh wow, I've died and gone to heaven, so thank you so much. Let's hear it once more for Bruce Andrews and Christopher Knowles. And come back next week. Until then, get home safe.